Thank you for the comparison of these 18 methods. I'm methodist, it's 18 different type of projects that I reuse.
Yes, thank you.
La última ponencia la tenemos. A ver. Sayeh Khajeian tiene un máster en Historia del Arte por la Universidad de Teherán, es conservadora por la Universidad de Isfahan, ha seguido en la Universidad del Cultural Heritage de Irán el curso de conservación y trabaja actualmente en el Royal Ontario Museum, en el Departamento de Conservación de Pintura, y está involucrado con el Getty en proyecto en el sur de Irán sobre las superficies policromadas.
Good afternoon, everybody. Thank you very much for the opportunity. And what I want to explain for you here is one of my experiences about 4 years ago. Yeah. It's a conservation of a plaster inscription that was situated in the Shooshtar-Irán. Our project was at the Jame Mosque of Shooshtar in Khuzestan province. It's in the west, south of Iran, exactly here above the Persian Gulf is Khuzestan province, and Shooshtar is at the west part of the Khuzestan. This region has a hot climate characterized by long summers and short, cool winters. To be near Persian Gulf, this place has a very high humidity, and the area difference temperature goes between 0 to 50 centigrade degree. This is the Jame Mosque in the center of the Shooshtar. The mosque is at the center of the city, and it was built at 9th century, exactly 868 is the time when it was built. Jame Mosque is a little different with the other typical mosques that maybe you have seen, because there's no dome in this building, and here is two minaret. Minaret is the towers that usually are in the mosques for calling people for praying. And this one is the original one, original tower, and the second one has been made later, and now it disappeared. This mosque has a central courtyard, which is covered because they use it for Friday prayers, and they cover it for the prayers. And here is the prayer hall that's called Shabestan. Our inscription is situated exactly here on the south wall of the mosque, and here is the entrance of the mosque, and the south side is oriented, is directed to the Qibla, to Mecca. So here we have a mihrab, as you will see later. Here is the mihrab that people pray to this site. As I told, this mosque is at the center of the city. It's like an assembly hall. Often a religious college, most of the times a political and a social center for people. The very first priority for us in our conservation was planning for conservation was to preserve the authenticity of the place and respect to integrity of the building. As I told you, this side of the mosque is the the south wall of the mosque, and here is where the inscription is located. This is our inscription, but a part of it, it was in two pieces. The right wing had about 14 meter long, and the left wing about 26 meter. And in the middle of the inscription is a mihrab. Before there was an old mihrab, this mosque has a lot of repairs in different times. The mihrab is, which now we can see, is built at 1744. Has the date of 1744, and is completely a new relic. The calligraphy of the inscription is Kufic. It's a decorative Kufic, and the material of the inscription is gypsum, mud, ash, and vegetable glue. As I will tell you, for the making this kind of plaster work, first they make a plaster board, and plasterboard had been made with chopped straw and mud inside it, and a thin layer of gypsum on it. After that, they draw the patterns or inscription or anything they want to carve on the plaster, and then they painting the pattern with a mixture of ochre and white clay. The next step was make a mixture of gypsum, as I told you, with mud, ash, and vegetable glue. Vegetable glue is called serish, and I don't know, the scientific name is difficult to pronounce, is Asphodylus albus. It's a kind of a vegetable glue that they used for reducing the setting time. For reducing the setting time, there's different kind of techniques to do that. For example, there's a technique that is very usual in Iran. Traditionally, they massage the paste until it sweats. Just like us when we sweat, exactly the paste of the plaster, you can see the drops of water on it. And they call it کشته. Sorry, I have no equivalence for them because the terms only exist in the Persia, and I don't know. Maybe there is equivalence for these terms, and I don't know them. Another way for reducing the setting time is adding some materials. In this kind of work of art, they added serish and also mud. After massaging and making wicks, they place it on the plaster, on the plasterboard, and after that they work with the knives and carve it and make the shape that they desire to have. Here is different kinds of kufik. There are a lot of kinds of kufik that we had, but these two types here, type A, I call them, and type B. Indeed, it's type A is kufi movaraq. Movaraq means like leaves, and the second one is the kufi mushajjar, means with a lot of splits and branches and like the trees. It's easier to say type A and type B. Experts have a discussion that our inscription belongs to first one or the second one. I believe the second one is more near to our inscription, and we can call it kufi mushajjar. Our piece of our work had a different kinds of damage. One of them was a damp problem. As you can see here, it had been controlled, and there's no existence of any kind of damp before we start to work on it. But still, there were some damage that make the exactly on the piece of inscription that we could find the date of the inscription. It ruined the information, and we couldn't find the date of the inscription. But we believe that it was the first works that had been made with the build of the mosque. I mean, the date of the mosque is exactly the same as the date of the inscription. And the other kind of damage that we had was biological damage, like birds dropping, insect nests, and also termites. As you can see, they was active in the building, and make tunnels and tubes and droppings, and put some damage and on our work. The other part of damage, I believe, was vandalism and human damage. It's an old pulpit. It's very old. The date is I don't know now exactly the date. I have it in my documents. I believe it has about 1,000 years age, and people believe in this pulpit, and they burning candles, and especially when they need to get pregnant, they pass under it, and This kind of usage of the pulpit makes a lot of the damage, especially burned areas on our inscription. As you can see here. Yeah. And also because of the political usage of the place, you can find different electrical equipment and switch for lighting that people install it on the walls and sometimes on the inscription. One of the most problems that we had there was several repairs that we had in the different times, and they covered our inscription with layers of gypsum and color, and again gypsum and color, and it was a thick layer on it that make it unreadable. In some places, it was completely covered with plaster. Like here. This part is completely covered with plaster and you cannot find anything. One thing that I forget to say was that we found that this inscription is a part of the Quran, and it's a surah called Yasin from verse 21 to 23. So we could find what is the text of the inscription. So it helped us a lot. This is the situation before restoration. We documented everything before doing any kind of treatment on it. And here is the equipment that I told you. And the last damage of the structure was the movements of the building. Deep cracks on foundation wall, which with inscription was on it, show a structural movement which is not active anymore now. Jame Mosque is a brick structure supported on a thick foundation walls. Over the years, excessive step cracks occurred within the brick walls at many locations. Our restoration, as I told you, begins with documentation at the beginning, in the middle, and at the end of the work. All of them was one-to-one. I mean the real size of the inscription. And usually the documentation is from the photography, but we prefer to take the pattern directly from the wall. We put the transparent paper on it and take all the damage, all the lost areas and everything to make sure that we documented anything. After that, layer removal, we had a layer removal. It takes about 10 months. It was very slow, just with the scalpel, and we didn't use any kind of chemical solutions because it's it's a risk to use chemical plaster plaster because it absorbs everything. So we didn't take this risk. And as I told you, we had some areas that was penetration of water, and we need stabilization, especially on that area, and also on the total work. Then we had restored the lost areas, and some of these letters had damage or they were lost, but because we had evidence, and only in that areas we had the traces on the wall, we could make them again and give a totality and harmonization to the work. It was very important for us. The beauty of the relic was important because, as I will told you, it's a very active place. People living there and coming and going, and they use it. It's not a piece of scientific object for just observing and I don't know, test it or get sample of it. So it was very important for us to give a acceptable shape to the whole inscription. And also at the end, we had a general fixation. We prefer to choose 20% paralloid B72 because more than it makes it glossy, and it was not acceptable for us. And adding a color on the paralloid in some areas just to harmonize and modify the lost colors. So one of the pictures that belongs to after restoration. Here you can see the areas that we make them again. They are the lost pieces. It's very obvious that the shape was exactly the same that we made it, and so there's no fake or make replica or going out from the principles of conservation. After conservation, this is the mihrab that I told you. It's new. It's about has only 300 years age, and it's as I told you, it's situated in the middle of the inscription. And here I want to explain something that is very important. This part of the inscription is above the mihrab. After removing the layers, we find that here is a different order of bricks. And after researching, we find that for some reasons, I should go back to the history. As you know, Iranians are Shia. They Ali is very important for them. And Imam Ali has been terrored at the mosque when he was praying. After terroring him, a kind of element was added to the architecture that they make a door at near the mihrab or in the middle of mihrab or behind it to make a easy way for imam. Imam is a person who prays, and it means leader. I don't know exactly the term in English. It's make an easy way for him to go out and coming in front of the people. So it's here, as you can see, the different order of bricks. It shows here was the door that you can see in the other mosques in Iran. But during the years and after repairs, the door is the door had been closed. So now you cannot see the door. After the interdisciplinary discussion with the archaeologists and architects that we had, we decided to show this alteration in the building by a curve here, and show the modification and reformation in the building. Okay, it's an arc with an arc form. This form refines the history of the relic. Meanwhile, it doesn't disturb the integrity of it. And our results. Our results was improve the legibility of the Quran inscription, reproducing lost areas, total stabilization, as I told you, and rescue the damaged part, and rehabilitate an area of religious importance, and also preserve the authenticity of the historical place. In fact, we use all scientific methods and materials to preserve not only the physical part of the relics, but also to preserve the spiritual values of any relic that we are working on it. To clarify my idea, I should tell you that for the continuous preserving of this relic, some experts suggest us to make a showcase for this to prevent it from further damage. But we believe that it's not a good idea because it separates the relic from the people. And the better way that we choose was to introduce it to people and tell them the importance of preserve their heritage. And we believe that it's the continuous prevention, conservation that we can make in any region and any country. Thank you for your attention.
Thank you, Sayeh.